think when you talk about failures, the greatest thing is to be able to learn from them. Because in this process, when it works, you're like, yeah, I can do this and that, but more times or less, it's not going to work. And if you can't learn from those mistakes and be able to move on, then or to grow, then you stay stagnant. So the failures are more important than the successes to me. One of the things I really like is because we have to make the picture, so we pour the film on it, we sensitize it, we load it in the camera and process it in the location, that the actual plate is present in that place. And then I was also thinking about it in a way that you look back at the old photographers, so if they made a picture of Abraham Lincoln, then that plate was actually in the room with Lincoln at that time. And that's something that I thought was really neat. The object was there, present in the time that it was made. The 19th century photographers that really inspired me, like Muybridge and Watkins and so on, is I really fell in love with their spirit. It's almost a pioneering spirit, and they were on the forefront of art and science and exploration, and that's just something that really stuck in me. Every time I go to a new location, it's almost like it's always, this is my favorite. And then after we do it, it's almost a thought of where will I go next that's my favorite. It's not the actual where I've been, it's the idea that, oh, maybe I can go to Slab City and make these giant plates. It's that thought that's more important than where I've actually been, but where I'm gonna go, that I really get inspired by. The first step is very interesting in my process, because we either have a camera, truck, so the actual camera is a huge truck, or we have a camera that's the size of a car. So before you even go to a location and attempt to make a shot, you have to know that everything will fit. Is there a parking spot? Can we put this huge apparatus here? So there's a lot of thought. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks or months of just planning before we actually go to the location. And then it takes so much time to make one. It takes all day that you really don't want to mess up. You don't have the opportunity to. Something that's really changed my thinking about photography and the way that we work is the draw that it has with people. So, for example, when we're shooting in a city, you have this giant truck. It's like a magnet for people, and then they want to ask you, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why plates that big? Why this process? And it really draws people in, and then that gives me a chance to share with them versus where I'm just some guy on the side of the street with a camera and I make a picture and I walk away, where this is an interactive experience. I think my greatest strength as a photographer is to embrace the past and embrace the things, because I think photography is pretty young, but I also feel like we're losing aspects of it, and to embrace that and bring it and not forget where we've been, and take that art form and move it forward. And it's really important for me to not let us lose the analog process or lose film. It's very important to me, and maybe that gives me strength in not forgetting the roots and where it came from.